I recognized the talent in him, right away, and it was kind of like, I wasn't around him enough to become buddy buddy, but enough to know that, you know, just I didn't say it to him, but in my own head I said, it won't be long before he goes up and they start using him, and obviously they have.
Hello everyone, Bill Apter and Dr. Chris Featherstone here for Sportskeeda, the Apter Chat, and Unscripted. Ted DiBiase, you're sitting right next to IRS. Have you paid your taxes?
Of course.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, of course.
I just wanted to make sure. Chris, did you have a question to ask?
Yeah, absolutely. So LA Knight, you were in the NXT feud with him and Cameron Grimes.
Right.
He's on a huge rise now. What say ye as far as the meteoric rise of LA Knight from NXT working with you to where he is now?
Well, actually, I had a great time doing that. That whole thing was not supposed to last as long as it did. I mean, it was getting over so well, they just kept going for another week and another week, and I recognized the talent in him, right away, and it was kind of like, I wasn't around him enough to become buddy buddy, but enough to know that, I didn't say it to him, but in my own head I said, it won't be long before he goes up and they start using him, and obviously they have.
Yeah. So other than LA Knight, you still watch the product pretty much?
Not a lot.
Okay, not a lot. But what do you? You're back from the days of classic wrestling.
Yeah.
You held the Missouri state title and all that stuff, and then wrestling turned over to what they call sports entertainment. Were you comfortable with that change?
I wasn't comfortable at first, and I guess in a lot of ways I'm still very old school.
Yeah.
But it's to me it's and again I'm talking about fans that come up to me where I'm that were fans of mine that are older folks. I don't know what the young people. I mean, they've been programmed to something, I think,
different business.
Yeah, because it is a different business. It used to be about the match.
Yes.
It's the contest, and the story was the story told in the ring between the two wrestlers.
Yeah.
It wasn't what was going on in the dressing room and out in the parking lot and all that. I was even, I can't remember who told me, but somebody told me one time, said, Ted, they said, Vince doesn't really like wrestling.
That's right. Yeah.
I said, so what do you mean? He says, well, it's kind of like, in terms of the entertainment industry, it's like the bastard child.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's always wanted to make it something, I guess, more acceptable.
Right.
On a greater scale.
Right.
And I believe that's why he's made a lot of the changes that he has.
Okay.
And I think a lot of those changes, obviously I was part of those changes.
You were.
It's like, I put on the $1 Million Man suit, and I'm, I'm doing all of that.
Well, you just sounded like Seth Rollins.
but when the monkey suit came off and I got in the ring, I wrestled like I always did.
I remember.
And so, but I don't know. It's just me. That's where I still think the story should be.
Okay. Right.
Is in the ring.
Chris?
Speaking of wrestling, you had the tag team championship, I believe, 3 times with Money Inc. and the $1 Million Championship, which is your creation. How come we never saw one of the greatest characters in WWE history never have a single championship in WWE?
Ask Vince.
Okay. Call him real quick.
I know that when I first started, and I had the build up to WrestleMania 4 and the tournament to declare a new champion. I remember they came to me then because that's what I expected to happen at WrestleMania 4, and I think it was Pat Patterson, and I have the greatest respect for Pat Patterson and his knowledge and understanding of our business. He said, Ted, he says, what if you don't win? I said, because That's what the people are expecting.
Exactly.
They're expecting you to win this tournament and then have the run with Hulk Hogan and, you know, then the next guy. And so he says, what if you don't win? What if it backfires and you don't win? And in your arrogance, you just thumb your nose at the world title and say, screw it, I'll make my own title.
Yeah.
And as soon as he said it, I said, do it.
Yeah.
I said, because what it was all about was getting heat on me, making me this hot heel. So I had more heat by going out and creating my own title and wearing it to the ring every night than if I had been, you know,
that is true. And you eventually bought the title. Yeah. Because, and why did you buy the title? Because what?
Because everybody has a price.
All right,
including me.
Ted DiBiase, before I let you go, you were the pinnacle of what they called scientific wrestling. Who was your finest opponent to do that art with?
It's so hard to pin that down to just one person. You know, when I think back to the guys that helped me become a great professional, I think about Terry Funk and Dick Murdoch and Harley Race and those guys who were some of the greatest of all time.
Okay.
You know, but in my own, you know, in my own league, so to speak, in my generation of wrestlers, I probably one of the guys, number one, Ricky Steamboat.
Oh God.
Who I only had the opportunity of wrestling one time.
Wow.
I would have loved to have a program with him. And the other guy who's sitting right over there, Jake the Snake.
Yes. Oh,
Jake Roberts, you know, again.
You and your Mid-South matches against
him. I mean, we came from the same, you know, school of thought.
From the Bill Watts school of thought.
Yeah. The psychology of pro wrestling. So
we got to wrap up. You have a long line of people here. I want to thank you so much, not only for doing this, but for being my friend forever.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you're always my friend, buddy.
Likewise, you know that.
We need to go back to Japan sometime.
We do. Mushi mushi.
Yeah.
Dr. Chris.
Thank you, Ted. Greatly appreciate this time.
Thank you very much.
All I have to say is sayonara.